Hello everyone! Happy Saturday! Alright, so welcome to Lisa's painting parties on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Lisa and we're going to be doing a fantastic painting today. We're using the inspiration of from a photograph from Lindsay Hudson. So she has her own Facebook page called Shinyandinspired and also on Instagram as well. Lovely, beautiful pictures that she takes out in the Muskoka area. Beautiful scenes, really close up of nature, some beautiful images. So definitely go check them out if you haven't seen them already. So yeah, this week we decided to use 3 of her images, and everyone voted, and we all voted on this beautiful pink cloud sky. So if you haven't already, I would suggest you grab that picture. So from our site, you can just grab a screenshot of that and just have it beside you and available so that you can reference it as we're going through. I want to be very clear again that we're going to be using that as an inspiration. So it is not going to look exactly like the picture. I do not know how to paint that way. I'm not professional in that way. I'm good with the inspiration and we'll be capturing the essence of it. So really what I want you guys to do is really feel the color and the energy and the surrealistic aspect of it, and that's what we're going to be trying to capture in our own paintings. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm really excited about it. To be honest, the clouds psyched me out a little bit, and so I was playing around with it yesterday and kind of went down the rabbit hole of different types of instructional techniques on how to do clouds, which then made me feel even more like unable to show you guys how to do it. So proceed with that at your own risk. But there are some amazing, professional, incredibly talented people who do amazing things. The biggest thing is acrylic dries really, really fast, as we know in our previous tutorials. And so that makes it kind of like our best friend in some ways and also our worst enemy in others. With the clouds, it's a little bit of both. So we're going to be playing with that a bit. A lot of times when we're showing beginner clouds, it's very much like blue sky or one color sky with like white cloud going on there, so very simplistic. This image has a lot of like almost looks like storm clouds-ish, almost like the sun's breaking through these really dark, heavy clouds. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge because we're not just going to use white to create that fluffiness. We're going to be using a lot of colors to it. So what I'd really like us to do is really look at the feeling of it and build from there. Okay, so it's just after 2. I'm going to wait another few minutes just to make sure everyone else who wants to join with us comes on. As you guys come on, please jump in the comments and say hi, because that's the only way I know if you're here and who's going to be joining today. For anyone who's new, hasn't joined us before, welcome. It's nice to have you guys here. I really love to share my enjoyment of painting with all of you, and I love seeing your painting as well, so that'd be really great. Hi, Diana. Yeah, it is beautiful. Today is such a gorgeous day. We were spending the morning outside, and it was absolutely lovely. My son brought his chalks outside and was creating a whole, I think he was doing like a Monopoly game board on our deck. So now our deck has a bunch of chalk on it. So he's getting into the creative spirit as well. All right. So yeah, so when I played with it yesterday, just to show you guys a bit of a thing. So this is what I created yesterday. So that's the kind of vibe that I can do and what I'll be showing you guys how to do. So it's a little bit different. The one that we're going to do today is going to look different because every time I paint is always slightly different depending on how it goes. And I want to do a few things. I want to approach it a bit differently when we go through today's painting. So we'll do that. So in terms of our supplies, we have our primary colors, yellow, blue, and red. And we also have our white and black. If you end up having additional other colors, like a premix purple or a pink or an orange or a green or whatever you need, not really green in this picture, but definitely you can have that on hand. It will help a little bit because, as I said, acrylic dries very fast. So if we're doing different paint and we're mixing different colors together, sometimes it can dry before we can go back to it, and that might be a little bit annoying or hard to get back the same kind of value that you want. So if you do have a premix, you can feel free to use that too. And then I also have a water container ready to go, my board. The board I actually have is an 11 by 14. I said I was going to use like a smaller size, but I actually found one that was a little bigger. And since I did a smaller one to prep for today, I thought I wanted to do it a slightly larger. And it's just like a very thin canvas board. I have my palette, got my paper towels ready to go, and we have my brushes somewhere. Oh, here they are. Okay. Awesome. So I got just a big brush just to get everything kind of on the canvas. I also have another brush which is a bit more of a rounded, but the bristles are pretty hard. So this worked well when I was doing some of the cloud stuff, but because the bristles were hard, it kind of pulled all the paint off the canvas. If you happen to have a really soft bristled brush, that will produce a bit more like wispier kind of feeling with your clouds. I did find this kind of random brush, which is kind of a weird end. I don't know if you guys can see that okay. But it almost looks like someone like chopped it off, like fully. So it's flat, it's round, and it has like a weird angle on it. I don't know what the brush is called. It's from Desairs. Anywho, but I was using it yesterday quite a bit, and I really liked the way it held a lot of the paint and the way it was moving as I was going. So definitely be good. This one we're going to be doing horizontal because it's a landscape scene. So I mean, if you want to do it vertically too, you can. You just have to modify things a bit. So this will be horizontal, and I'll put my camera to the canvas momentarily. And then I also have just just a few thinner brushes. I did mention in the comments before, if you have a fan brush, we'll try it. I did play with it yesterday, and it didn't get me what I wanted, so I'm not going to be using that today. If you have one and you want to play with it, like, feel free to do so. Okay, great. So I just have a few of my brushes ready to go there. Hi, Betty. Thanks for joining today. All right. So let me get my camera moved. One moment. I'll set that up like that or so. You guys can see my CD collection in the back. It's kind of funny. I feel really old having those CDs. Hey, Alex. I'm glad you're joining. Yeah, this is very exciting. I'm very excited to paint. I love painting from photos, although definitely, like I said, the clouds kind of psyched me out a little bit. But I decided to take my own advice because I always say whenever someone's hesitant, just like enjoy the process, look at the shapes, look at the colors, and let's go from there. Because that's really what it is. The shape, color, value, that's what we're doing, right? Okay, so I'm just going to throw my hair up so it gets out of my way, and then we will start getting some paint to canvas. Uh-oh. Saying I'm having trouble playing the video. I'm not sure if you guys can still see me. I did, however, hi Mike! Thanks for joining. I am trying to do it on my laptop again. Anyone who's been here before knows that that did not always work out super well. So I might have to switch back to my, do it a live stream from my cell phone. We'll see how this is going. Let me know if you guys can still see me or if you're having any trouble with seeing the canvas right now. I know we haven't started yet, but just let me know in the comments if you can still hear and see me okay, or if there's any issues with that. I'm just going to get my phone kind of prepped in the background in case this conks out. If it does conk out, just do a reload of my page and then I'll kick back in if there's any issues, okay? Okay, so I have my phone in the back just in case. And now let's get some paint down. So when I was doing this painting and playing with it yesterday, I used a lot of white. White was like my best friend. I use a lot more paint than I thought I was going to use as well. So I'm just starting off with my palette and just putting quite a bit of paint. Again, acrylic dries very quickly, so you might want to go... Thanks, Dan. I appreciate your letting me know that everything's good. Thank you. You might want to start off smaller and just keep adding paint as you go because you don't really want to dry on your palette because it sucks. Get some red there. Same time, I do like kind of having colors ready to go for me. So, a bit of a back and forth. I may contradict myself a few times during this live video. All my lovely paints are from Dollarama. Only classiness allowed here. Alright. Okay. And Betty, you said you're just fine. Good. Okay, so I can't see how I look. Oh, I think... What's going on? Okay. So hopefully it's still going. And now let's start it up. Okay, so what we're going to start off with is getting that blue piece in the background. That is the furthest part away. So I'm going to just get blue and the white and want to start getting that on here. Before I start though, what I want to do is I'm just going to actually wet the canvas down with my big old fat brush and just water, just to keep that canvas, that acrylic paint wet for just a little bit longer, just so I can blend a little bit easier once I start putting my paint on the canvas. So I'm just putting water on the canvas, kind of where I'm going to paint, which that blue is going to come kind of like down here-ish. I'm just going a bit because I don't want it to be super soaked. Super soaker. Okay. Okay. So now it's what kind of in the area I want to do. I am going to bring it further than where I want it, obviously, just because it's going to go underneath some things. So I'm just putting some of the blue. The blue I have is called peacock blue. It's very bright, and a little bit of white. And I'm just going to start blocking in where I want that light blue sky. Okay. The water's going to make it really easy for this to spread. However, that will make the paint a bit thinner. So just keep that in mind as you're going. You still want to get good coverage of your canvas. Okay. So I'm just putting in the dark blue, or just the blue I should say. It's not dark, it's just blue. And then I'm just dabbing white as I'm going, and then just putting it on top. So dab white, and just continue, and I'm juicing on the wet, dab some blue, and then I'm just bringing it in. And the water's helped me to blend, and it already kind of has a cloudy vibe to it, because it's not just blending it so it's fully one color, you're kind of having some streakiness, which is what you want, right? Like the whole idea is we're getting that impression of having these beautiful floating clouds in the sky. So you want to just get that back. There's a lot of movement, I find, in this picture. It's so beautiful. Okay, so I think that's kind of where I want it to be. I might want to bring it down a little bit more. Bring it down further than what you think you might want, because the last thing you want is if you don't want to have like a weird gap of canvas there. So just bring it down a little bit further, or a little bit over if you want. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go any further that way, because that purple one is going to come like right there, and then that red one's going to come like here. So let me just move that over. Okay. Cool. So I'm just setting up my reference picture so I can see it a little better. Just 1 second. There we go. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, so that's where we got going right now. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want to start working. I'm going to leave that for a moment, I think. Maybe let's try and play with the cloud right now. Let's see. Let's try. Let's try. Might as well, right? So what I'm doing is I have that beautiful blue. I put like a dab, and when I say a dab, I mean like the tiniest amount of black, just to make it a little bit gray. Again, it's kind of crazy. And the way the clouds work is you kind of build it a bit. So it's still the same brush I've had, and I'm just gonna kind of put, just kind of do that. So like the brush itself is, there's paint on it, but it's very dry. The canvas is still a little wet, and I'm just popping in and just kind of dabbing my brush a bit, right, and putting in a cloud in. Putting in just some semblance of cloud, okay? So I'm just gonna do that again. Okay, so I'm mixing again a little bit of my light blue. I put like a dab of black. I wish I had a camera on my palette. I need to figure out how to get more technical. And I'm just gonna put another one in here. Okay, there's some little ones. This brush is still my big fat brush. I'm finding that the bristles are kind of working nicely for me to get some nice fluffiness going on, which is why I'm using it. A lot of it is feel. So a lot of it is just like, if it feels good, then it's gonna work better with you than if it just feels awkward. And there's quite a bit of dark coming around here. So I'm just like dabbing and kind of going kind of like in a kind of like circular-ish, like half circle motions. Okay, just to get that feeling in here. Okay, and I'm just bringing it in, and the back of the canvas is starting to dry up a little bit. Okay, and that's fine. Just starting to get some of those clouds going on there. Okay. Okay, and then what you can do is on the tip of that, I just add a little bit of white, and as you add it, it just